Good afternoon from paradise. I'm Crypto Amaru. We got Crypto Hitman, Ferrum Nate in the house. As per usual, feels like big news is dropping every week. First, Trump trying assassinated. Now Biden out of the race. Harris is in. What does all this political madness mean for crypto markets? So we'll dig into that. Trump is heading to Bitcoin Nashville this week. Some speculation and rumor about announcing a potential adding Bitcoin to the sort of reserves, the United States reserves. Talk a bit about that. Maybe we'll dive in some of our recent meme calls. I don't know. We'll see how this conversation goes. But guys, I was out with my family this weekend. We went down to the shore, and all of a sudden, my phone's in my pocket. All of a sudden, it's blowing up. Boom, 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 message after message, and I was like, I think Biden might have dropped out because we had a group chat going and stuff. Sure enough, look, he's out. Looks like Harris is now in. What are your thoughts on everything? What does this mean for markets? What do you think this mean for Trump chances? Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I mean, initially we saw that Bitcoin actually drop because everybody assumed, well, we just looked at the betting markets, 70% chance of Trump winning, who was pro-crypto when Biden was in there. Now that Biden's dropped out, they have Trump at 60% and they have other at 40%. I think that starts to rise again once we get to this Bitcoin 2024 conference where Trump and RFK Jr. will be there. If they go with Kamala Harris, she was already on that losing projected loss ticket anyways. How much of a difference does it make if it's her with a different VP versus Biden and her? I don't think very much. And we are now seeing other big names coming on board to Bitcoin and crypto. We had Elon Musk, who's donating $45 million a month to Trump. We know he's been pro Doge, pro Bitcoin in the past. He also said that once Bitcoin is over 50% in renewables mining it, that Tesla will start accepting Bitcoin again. As of this morning, 53% of Bitcoin mine is with renewable energy. So does Tesla make that announcement in Bitcoin 2024? Overall, I think all the politics and all the benefits are floating to pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin. And I think that's going to ultimately lead to much higher prices here. I still believe Trump's a shoe-in to win. Obviously, if RFK Jr. pulled off a miracle now that the Democrats are in demise, he's pro-crypto. So I think higher, upward, and onward.
Yeah, agreed. That dip we had lasted less than 5 minutes. It got eaten up almost instantly. We've seen, as mentioned, Elon Musk, I think Michael Arrington, a couple other prominent figures all changed their profile pictures on Twitter, on X, yesterday or the day before, to it's called like the dark something meme, but it's a kind of a dark red background with the blue laser eyes and stuff. Obviously, very pro crypto. I think the betting changing from 70-30 to 60-40 is because it's an unknown yet. I think once it's solidified as Harris, she's got no chance against Trump. I think she's probably got worse of a chance than Biden did. The people that were going to vote blue regardless are going to still vote blue regardless, but I don't see Harris winning over any other hearts and minds of anybody that's in the middle. She polled extremely poorly when she was running in the primaries. I think she got less than 1%. She's just not that likable of a figure. She doesn't have the charisma. Her track record's not great, etc. So I don't see that affecting the election so much. I think I agree with Crypto Hitman. RFK is the biggest question mark out there. If anything's going to spoil the election for Trump, it's that RFK pulls a lot of people over to an independent vote or a write-in vote, however that works. And I think a lot of more people would be coming from the red side of the aisle than the blue side of the aisle to vote for RFK. It's yet to be seen what's going to go on there. There's been talks of him endorsing Trump, but he's also very pro crypto. That could happen. We'll see. A lot up in the air, but I think it's more bullish sentiment, more stuff just sending us to Valhalla on this next bull run here.
Yeah, and I think before I let you go, Ian, I think the most bullish thing for crypto, not only crypto, but America in general, and America is the leading power in the globe. So it's going to help all global macro is, Trump's going to remain in. Trump has a huge lead. The biggest thing would be there's talks of Larry Fink becoming part of the Treasury Board for the United States government. He owns BlackRock, pro crypto, Bitcoin spot ETF. Also, if RFK Jr. comes on in some capacity in the cabinet. Why? What does that do? That is puts a moderate next to a Trump that he respects, that has been right on some of the speculation and conspiracies that Trump has had as far as vaccination, as far as diseases in America, whatever it is. And I think maybe that kind of RFK and the cabinet plus Trump almost got assassinated dampers down Trump a little bit, and that's ultimately better for Bitcoin, better for America, and better for global policy as a whole.
Yeah, it's we'll see how the cabinet situation plays out and who ultimately comes into a Trump administration. I don't think anything's really changed. So Biden's out, we know that. The Dems had a chance, I think, to really disrupt things and sort of make this competitive again if they had decided to basically go to and do a brokered convention, or essentially try to have folks duke it out, different candidates duke it out at the convention and try to elect essentially someone who is going to have the best chance at beating Trump. I just don't view Harris as that person. And it feels like they're sort of anointing Harris. If Harris had, I have nothing against Harris. People are like, oh, yeah, Harris, I don't know much about her. Okay, she's all right. She's not terrible. She's fine. But she does not that confidence. She never polls well. She did terribly when she was up trying to go up against multiple Dems in 2020, which is what ultimately Biden won the nomination then. So there's not a lot. I don't have a lot of confidence in Harris. So I think by doing this, they haven't really changed the race that much. Yes, Biden needed to go. He was too old. We all know that. But by doing it this way, they basically have, they're back at square one as I view it. I think 60-40 is probably because Biden was going to get killed. I think Harris does slightly better than Biden, but I don't think anyone can take on Trump. Has so much momentum right now with the assassination attempt that happened, people just being kind of sour about the state of the country and the direction of the country, the economy, inflation, so on. Harris will probably be viewed as continuation of that. Trump is maybe like he's going to make a change, this and that. So I don't think the dynamics have really changed at all. And I think Trump he's up in the swing states. He's going to stay up in the swing. That's all that matters. Remember, guys, it doesn't matter, because by the way, a Dem always gets the more popular vote. That's just because there's some people live in California or whatever. So that's just how it is. So it's the swing states that matter. I doubt things change meaningfully there. Maybe, the race gets a little bit closer as time goes on, or maybe it slips, even goes for farther direction. I don't know, but I think Trump is still safe to win. And what's cool about this, honestly, is he is speaking at Bitcoin Nashville conference this week. There are now rumors that are pretty substantiated because they've been printed in various, relatively upstanding, reputable journal outlets, newspapers, and so on. That he is going to announce, Trump is going to announce that he is backing a sort of adding Bitcoin to the U.S. strategic reserve assets, so which gold is there, I believe oil's there as well. They already, by the way, the U.S. Already owns a bunch of Bitcoin that they've confiscated over the years. They already have like 60 billion worth or 80 billion worth now, but then it'll be making this official, perhaps buying Bitcoin at different times, whatever. This is a known policy that the U.S. has strategic reserves. Announcing that he wants to add Bitcoin to the strategic reserves with his 60 to 70% chance to win the election. I see if that happens this week, I think we're seeing a bounce possibly past the previous all-time high of 73,000. What do you guys say about that?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Obviously, we used to have bigger strategic reserves because the dollar used to be backed by gold, and then it was backed by silver, and now it's really backed by nothing. But they still have strategic reserves of silver, gold, and oil. That kind of remains our superpower. We already have Bitcoin, so why not make it official and get it on the books? And if he makes that, yeah, I think we go to new all-time highs. You have a target that I've been looking at for a while now, is somewhere between 85,000 to 88,000. That would be kind of the next stop. If we break out here, everybody's going to put their laser eyes back on, saying we're going to 100,000, and we won't quite make it there. We'll stop at 85 to 88. It will sell off to probably back into the 70s. Everybody will panic again, and that'll be the last dip that you can buy before we do buy 100,000. So you can bookmark this because that's what's going to happen. And if Trump comes out and says that, it's just going to speed up the process and the timing of that happening.
Agreed. I mean, how could we not pump like crazy from here if that gets announced? It means two things. One, it means that the Bitcoin that the U.S. has, that it's been rumored that they're going to sell it a dozen different times, which always sends the market dumping. That means they're going to hold and they're going to buy. So what's more bullish than having the biggest economy in the world saying that they're going to start buying and holding Bitcoin long term.
Wow. Can you imagine? And then other countries are going to come in too. And then they're going to start FOMOing in.
Well, and the thing is,
you're a government, you can print money and then you want to buy the hard asset. So,
right. And the thing is, it makes sense. A, Trump is already coming pro crypto. B, this could be a big voting turn for him if 47 million Americans own crypto. So, if they're voting for that. But also, some of our enemies globally already are starting to buy, accumulate, and mine Bitcoin. That's Russia. That's China. So he sees the writing on the wall. You don't want to fall behind those enemies if this thing remains like it has and takes off. You would rather be on the side of caution, have it as a reserve just in case. So that way you keep your global power by having as much or more Bitcoin than your competitors, China and Russia in this case.
It's going to be an exciting week for crypto. We have the ETH ETF going live. Supposed to be tomorrow. I haven't seen news to the contrary, so my expectation is it does in fact go live tomorrow. We will see what happens in terms of inflows. I am expecting some amount of inflows, not insane because it takes a little bit of time to ramp up. We'll see how the market reacts, but my take is still 4K ETH pretty soon here because there's just not a lot of ETH to buy out there. 30% is staked. There's not a lot in the order books. It's relatively undervalued compared to Bitcoin if you look at where it is normally historically at this point in the cycle, so on and so forth. So I think a lot of room to run for ETH here when the ETF gets announced. I know we just made some good meme calls. Memes are still hot. You want to talk maybe a little about Dubcat and some others, and then we can maybe wrap this up.
Yeah, so a couple things there. Ethereum spot ETF is going to be massive. The only update on that is the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange, did approve the filings for the Grayscale ETF and the Fidelity one. So that leads me to believe that those can launch literally at any moment. Will they launch it today? Probably not, but it is ready to be launched. I do think maybe we have a little buy the rumor, sell the news, and maybe we do have some people rotating out of that Grayscale ETF into the other ETFs because the fee is 2.5%. versus 0.25%, but ultimately that will just be short-term volatility, meaning if they're selling out today, 1,000 ETH, within a day or two, they're buying back that 1,000 ETH in a different product. That washes out, and that's when it runs up like we saw on Bitcoin. So supremely bullish. Do you have anything to add on Ethereum before we touch base on memes before we wrap up the video, Nate?
Yeah, I think, these ETFs are never a bad thing, especially long term. How high does it send it? I agree with Ian. I don't think we're going to see, something huge out the gate this week. I think the, Trump announcing that he wants to add Bitcoin to our strategic reserves would be a much bigger market catalyst. But as ETH does continue to grow, as these ETFs help pump it, always be cautious. Remember, there was a whole bunch of people back 2 years ago in November of 2021 that bought ETH at its Pico top. So that always, as you reach the all-time high, there's always going to be some people, trying to cash in, trying to recoup funds, trying to make a little profit on it. So that would be another mark around the 4,800 mark as we approach that. Be ready for some, slowdown or a, potential correction there as people that bought the top last time try to get their money back. Other than that, up and away for ETH.
Love it. Yep.
And then I'd say our last thing, the most recent meme calls we've made Mellow Call. That is doing well. I think it's up 75% since we first had it on Crypto Paradise and talked about it. And then we also just did an interview with BitShaman, and he mentioned his community takeover, Dubcat. That is actually up 400% since the recording time of Crypto Paradise. It was posted this morning, up 125% since Crypto Paradise posted it. That's that Crypto Paradise pump there. And it is now sitting at a 1.8 million market cap. So, we're talking massive gains, but still 1.8 million market cap is peanuts in this game. I think Mellow's around 2.2 million market cap, still peanuts. So I think holding and staying long or buying your first Mellow or Dubcat due to the Crypto Paradise ties makes a lot of sense at these levels. How about you guys?
Yeah, I am stoked for both of those tokens. I think some of the other past tokens that we've called as well still have some life in them. All three of both of those, and then one other one of Frank. I know that we've talked about in the past. All of them have big marketing plans coming up that are about to hit. Not financial advice, but definitely do some due diligence. Take a look at what you can do with some of those meme coins. These are quality coins that have teams behind them that are not just shillers that are pump and dumping. You can go back and check out the interviews if you want to find out more about each of these and what's going on there. BitShaman is a longtime guy in the crypto space. People know him. He's running the CTO for Dubcat. If you need some advice on how to get started with memes, Both of our long form videos, part 1 and part 2 on getting started in the meme ecosystem are out there. And always a word of caution. You can be in this game a long time. I've been doing this for, full time for over 3 years now. Crypto 24/7 for 3 years, and you still make mistakes. Buying Dubcat the other day, I forgot to set my slippage properly and got front run by a bot. So I'm just in the profit now. Finally, I should be almost, 2.5, 3x on Dubcat, but I am just getting back to profit now. So always remember, take your time, even if you're an experienced degen, double, triple check things before you send your transactions through, because there are 1,000 ways you can get scammed or in this industry. It's not a Dubcat thing. Dubcat didn't do this. It's somebody with a malicious bot that's watching all of these tokens. When they see someone come in with high slippage, they're gonna front run you and they're gonna eat up. They're gonna take your profits. So
that was definitely one of the largest sandwich bots I've ever seen. I think it was something like 119 SOL buy right before your buy to sandwich you. All that, and they made the bot made like $50 in profit, and Nate ate like 40% in slippage.
Yeah, I lost.
That's really good advice, though, guys. You got to be careful out there. There's a million ways to make money in crypto. There's also a million ways to lose. So be extra careful, extra cautious. Nothing we say on the channel is financial advice. I do want to give a shout out to BitShaman. So the two projects that we mentioned here that I'm super bullish on, both CTOs, right? Community takeovers. BitShaman's doing Dubcat, and Phil and his team are doing Mellow. And one of the things that they have in common with the CTOs is they spent a few days, weeks, maybe even sort of buying up a lot of the supply at super low prices from, there's JEETs that they'll sell to make 10% profit or even at a loss. And then the stronger hands are spending that period of time buying up the supply, knowing they're going to hodl it, and that'll allow the chart to actually appreciate. And you finally saw the efforts of that sort of buying from the strong hands playing out with Dubcat. They accumulated a bunch, they're hodling it, and then new people coming in. There's not a lot of sell pressure anymore. And so that's how it pumps to 1.8 million where it's at today. So shout out to the strong hands. The same thing happened on Mellow. There's a lot of just true believers in there now. There's still, I think, about maybe 700 or so holders. That's not a lot of holders. I think the early JEETs are out. There was one big whale selling off this weekend, but he's, I think, out or going to be out soon. This is what you want to see. You want to see these early JEETs selling, funds sort of accumulating back towards the stronger hands who are going to hodl it for a long time, believe in it. And that's when you see, the ultimate price appreciation when the buyers do start coming in and take control again. So shout out to both those CTOs. Great work on both of them. Not financial advice as always. You guys got to do a lot of research when we're talking about especially these low caps. Don't go aping 5, 10 ETH. You start small. There's not a lot of liquidity anyway. Start small, monitor, join the voice chats, join the Twitter spaces, get to know the team, understand the roadmap, then decide whether you want to continue on, double down, exit out, whatever the case may be. You want to be cautious and slowly scaling these things. I think anyway. That's my, personal strategy. Other people may do it differently. Not financial advice as ever. But shout out to both those guys. All right. Any final words before we wrap up today's discussion?
I don't have much else to add. I know we've been talking about politics a lot, and this isn't a political show, but it is directly impacting the markets on a daily basis. So that's why we're talking about it. I think we'll be talking about it more with the Bitcoin 2024 conference, because you have the independent and RFK Jr., you have the Republican and Donald Trump, you have MicroStrategy, you got Cathie Wood from traditional finance, you have some of the biggest names from many different industries that are all going to be there, and it's all going to be relevant to what crypto paradise and the alpha we can drive from our knowledge and our history in this space, and how we think it's going to affect individual sectors to where we can make a lot of money here with some of these ideas.
And I know Crypto Paradise is going to be there too, guys. So don't forget the biggest stars of all, Pharaoh Nate, Crypto Hitman. If you're down there in Nashville, try to find these guys, say what's up to them. And of course, as always, we will see you on the beach.